I'm Korean descent, moved here when I was 7 years old. Um, I've been cooking for 30 plus years. Um, 2008, my wife and I, we opened up Urban Belly, which was one of the first fast casual restaurants that's opened by a fine dining chef. So I spent majority of my career working at um, really fancy restaurants, especially the one in Chicago. I worked for Charlie Trotters for 5 years, being his chef de cuisine. Realized that it was very hard for me to cook something that I did not grow up eating. So I really wanted to tell a story through food, which was who I am, where I am, and be able to tell it in a flavorful, accessible, and portable food. So we opened up a counter seat restaurant that only sat 24 people. It'll be our 15th year this year. I also partnered up, and my wife and I, we always like to set 5-year goals. So after 5 years, we opened up and partnered up with a management company called Cornerstone Management. So I'm still with them. We've expanded to Purdue University. We're also first partnership with Crate and Barrel in the country, Table at Crate, and in the fall we'll be opening up 4 concepts in Asia. So very proud. I'm going to give you one example. I think a lot of the operators and people who have brands across the United States. So think about yourself. You wake up in the morning, you see what kind of revenue you generated for the day. Then you look at your labor, right? Then you're kind of projecting what you're gonna do, forecasting, right, for the day. Then if it's sunny outside, it's gonna affect your business. If it's gonna rain, it's gonna affect your business. So can you imagine if you go to Press the chat bot, 50 degrees, we're gonna do $5,500 in revenue, and tell me a schedule that I should run, and also what's my leading seller. It's gonna tell you. Then on top of that, you say, after the day, we did this much revenue, for the next 3 days, we're gonna do this. Can you tell me what the order is gonna be? And it's gonna tell you. So how much time for your chefs or your general manager to go into your cooler to realize what you need to order? It could be half an hour, it could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. Also, the prep assistant, if you put all the data that you do for your menu, it also does your prep for you. You could assign people. Then once it's done, you have your data that's connected to your printer. Then it gives you your location where you should put it, into what container, and it gives you shelf life. The health department walks in, you just show them this, and within 5 minutes, they'll be leaving, right? Because that's what you want. You want to operate. You don't want to sit in your office the entire time, 2 or 3 hours. So using that to be able to do what chefs do, cook, the general managers to run the restaurant, say hello to guests, see a smiling face instead of being stuck in the back and doing paperwork. It does a lot of the things that you do manually. It feels like you're having 50 managers doing one task, and it's done within minutes. So we have Pressy Taste in our kitchen. When people come in, they already know the schedule. They're assigned tasks. There's icons and colored coordinated tabs that's correlated with their name. So when they start, they press a button, then it says in progress. When they're done, then it's completed. Then it could be emailed. So you could be anywhere in the United States and you could run the program. If you want to run it, or they want to run it at the store level, they can. So that's my experience that I've had. I've only had it for a month, but it's part of our DNA right now. And it's really, it's easy. Within couple hours, we got our guys in the kitchen using it. So it's you got to do the legwork first in the beginning. Know your yields, know your par levels, know your revenue. That's all done through your POS anyways. You do that, but it's that simple. For us, within a month, we're on a program. Waste, we probably cut down 10 to 12% just in waste itself, because we know what our menu mix is, and also it tells you when your peak hours and your slow hours are, and I'll tell you what to prep during those hours.
My name is Jason Crane, president of Slutty Vegan. Slutty Vegan is a vegan fast casual concept based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We sell vegan burgers, fries, and pies. We're also made up of, we have a couple different concepts as well. We have Dinkies, which is cheesesteaks and tots, and we have Bar Vegan, which is an upscale cocktail lounge that also operates out of Atlanta, Georgia. I can tell you more about Slutty Vegan and both now and later in the panel, but a little bit of context or background about myself. Originally from Kansas City, Missouri, go Chiefs. And it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Born and raised in Kansas City, so I'm a diehard, barbecue man, right? And so how did this barbecue guy get into vegan burgers, right? Before Slutty Vegan, I actually was involved. I was in a 10-year career in technology. Post-graduation from Morehouse College, I started my career at Google in New York City, and that kind of, that interaction, that training at Google really kind of gave me the bug that tech was going to be a part of my life, not just my early career. From Google, I went on to Shazam, which is audio recognition technology. From Shazam, I went to start my own tech company called PartPick. It was a computer vision and machine learning software that allowed you to take pictures of hardware. Our technology identified the hardware based on size, spec, non-labels, no words, no logos, nothing like that, but really creating like a digital fingerprint, if you will, of the piece of hardware, and then we would help facilitate the purchase. That technology and that company I sold to Amazon, and it is now integrated into the Amazon camera search function and the mobile app. Hey. And so following that acquisition, and I started investing in friends and family. Pinky Cole was a good friend of mine from our college days. I started working with her and helped her buy the first food truck, and she created a brand. I came on full time in March 2020, the worst time to leave tech to go into food. But it was, it's been a roller coaster. For my entire life, I sat on one side of the table, and now I get the opportunity to stand in the back of the kitchen. And it's been a roller coaster. We've grown from one store in 2020, and now we are at 12 units, operating in 4 states: New York, Georgia, Alabama, and Texas. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you, President Chase, for the opportunity. So when I came over from Amazon, I was very intent, there's no way I'm going to go into the restaurant industry without bringing technology. In fact, I'm going to think first through a technological lens. And ultimately, my ultimate goal was okay, I'm going to go into the restaurant space, I'm going to learn the business, and then I'm going to come up with the next best technology that I can go and build and sell and do something else, right? And not to my surprise, there's so many opportunities to use technology in your restaurant business. For me specifically, someone who didn't know the business as an operator, it was intangible because it allowed me to get visibility, transparency, and data that I was able to use to make decisions, right? What I'm very confident in is my ability to make decisions. What I was not as confident in is making sure that I'm instructing and guiding, my back of house to operate the way that it should have, right? Especially not knowing the business. So when I came in, there was a number of technologies and systems that I put in place. And some of them were basic software systems that allowed you to automate your checklist, your opening and closing checklist, right? But for me, it made that particular system was useful because it allowed me to see who was doing it, what time they were doing it. You can take a picture so I can see what you see, right? And so it allowed me just that visibility of knowing that, okay, if you follow this list in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, then we should be ready for the health inspection. We should be ready for anything that might come about, right? Other technologies are on the training side. I've used mobile apps to help, train all of my staff, because that's the only way that I can make sure that they're learning without someone physically being in front of them teaching them how to do it. I've used automation technologies, and as I say automation, I'm going to quickly distinguish between automation and AI, right? Automation, you think robots, you think mechanics, you think being able to repeat consistently, and that's kind of what the mechanics do. AI, on the other hand, gets smarter. Right, that is the main difference. Your AI technologies should get better and better and better with the more data that you put into it, with the more use cases you give it. I've used automation technology that filters my oil system so that I'm not hiring employees, so that employees are not spilling oil on themselves when they're changing out the fryers, right? So it filters it automatically. Somebody comes in, plugs it into a service person comes in, plugs it in, takes all the bad oil out. I don't have any spills. I don't have any burns. I don't have any of that, and it's and it's actually a very, very competitive cost, right? I've used AI technology. An example of AI software that we use is for our customer service, right? So Pinky's promises are what we give to all of our employees, that you have to do these things, you have to embody these principles, if you will, in order to work here, right? And customer service is one of those. We listen to every comment, we respond to every comment on social media, we answer every phone call. Like, we are very, very intent on what our customers are saying to us. But as we've gotten bigger, as we've gone from 1 to 2 to 2 to 10, we realize that it becomes expensive to have someone available at midnight to answer that phone call when they call. However, we still want to solve that problem for that customer, and so our customer service call-in technology allows us to get data around one, who's calling, why are they calling, what did they call for. What did it need to be escalated? Was it something that I was able to resolve in just sending them a text message with the required information, or is this something that needed to be escalated to a human being that and that person needed to take care of? It helps me save on labor, because now I don't have to have this expensive customer service team. And so with that particular piece of AI, again, it gets smarter, and all the data that we submit to it helps us to continue to optimize. I see what people are calling about, so I can do a better job of being proactive about things on the website or on Instagram, because I see what they're calling for, so why not give it to them ahead of time, right? So I took through a range of softwares, automation, AI. Specifically, we're actually working on a demo now with Presentace, where we're looking at ways of how the computer vision technology can help our back of house prepare items better, right? So we got a ton of proprietary sauces. We have vegetables that need to be cut, and so the computer vision technology helps to kind of signal and automate that process so that someone doesn't have to manually go in, and that's what we're looking forward to getting off the ground, and the future is right there. But and to bring that all full circle, sorry, I started rambling. But it's the insights. For me, as someone who's trying to quickly scale a business, I can't do it without the data. But what I've learned, and something that I'm actively trying to resolve within my own organization, is that you can have 30 systems, you can have all this software, you can have all of this data, but if you don't have the talent to be able to analyze that data, then the data just sits there, right? So somebody, y'all feel me? Okay, cool. And so I'm getting, and at some point I had to check myself because I'm yelling at my GMs and I'm telling my district managers, hey, did you look at the data? Did you look at the reports? When's the last time you ran a report? And they haven't. It's just there. And then it's like, I expect them to know how to analyze it, and they just don't, right? And so I know that now I have to be more proactive. One, about pushing out my own data training and analytical training. But I think it's going to be an opportunity in terms of just the market, in terms of our industry, where we do need to make a more concerted effort to give instruction around, okay, these are the numbers, this is what it says, and this is what you should do. However, the best AI, the AI of the future, it's going to tell you. Like the AI, the system has the data. The best AI will tell you the insights from the data. And I think that as things get, what I'm really excited about Presutace is that they're building this model specifically for the restaurant industry. Understanding that, like, everybody's hype about ChatGPT, and that's cool, and I know y'all use it too. However, the data that goes in is extremely important for the results that come out, right? And so the fact that they're building this restaurant model that knows and understands what's going on at Urban Belly, that's going on at Slutty Vegan, then it's a lot more insightful, and that's the versions that I'm really excited for in the future.
Yeah, my name is Arndt Mentor. I'm the head of product management at Comotherm, and also a member of the leadership team there, and we're manufacturing combi ovens since 1976. I'm there with the company since 6 years now. Before that, I was doing dishwashing and also professional kitchen equipment, so I'm in the industry now for about 20 years right now. And we're doing combi ovens with CommoSense technology, and I'm going to tell you more about this a little bit later. Something personal about me: I got 2 boys. From Germany. You might hear that in my accent. Sorry for that. It's, spent a lot of time in the industry. I started working for an advertising agency after I studied economics, and went into the industry and went on from there. So now I'm here in Chicago, and thanks for inviting me. Fantastic NRA show. I was talking now 3 days in a row about AI and kitchen equipment and things like this, and I'll appreciate much that I was invited, and looking forward to this evening. Thanks very much. Yeah, we integrated, AI in our combi ovens to solve your everyday challenges that you're facing. That means we took our Comotherm combi oven bases and we integrated the CommoSense technology into the combi ovens. CommoSense consists of Vision AI, plus a camera, height sensors, LED lights, a cooling system, and that's all what we call CommoSense. And with that, we're able to see what is put into the cavity. The system analyzes this, sees what's put in, and it takes the right profile out of the system. For example, you put croissants on a tray, you open up the door, you put the croissants in, and the AI looks at it, it says, yeah, this must be a croissant. It goes into the cookbook, takes the right profile, and then puts it on the user interface. So no interacting with the combi oven. The users only have to switch the oven on in the morning, then they have to put the stuff on the trays, they open up the door, they put it into the cavity, they close the door, and the cooking starts immediately with the right profiles, with the right timing, with the right temperature, but nobody has to take care for that, because this we have done before. We created a cookbook together with our customer. We created a perfect AI model together with Presutace, and with that, we're taking all the hassle off the users. We're just making them open the door, put the stuff in, and close the door, and then the cooking starts. You get perfect, consistent results. You always meet the golden standard because you're always taking the right profile. With that, you're speeding up the process. You just open the door, put the stuff in, close the door. It makes you much faster. No button pressing, no searching for the right profile on the display. Is that really that croissant? Is that really that chicken? Whatever. And with that, you're reducing food waste because it's always done to the perfect result. It's always done to the golden standard. You're speeding up the process. You're getting more efficiency. You're also increasing the food quality that you're getting out, and so you're increasing your sales with that because the customers are happy with what they're getting, so that's also a perfect effect that you're having. And you're reducing tremendously the effort for the training because all the knowledge is already in the oven, is already in the combi oven, so you don't have to do a lot of training, you just have to teach the people that are using it how to switch it on, you know, how to open the door, how they have to put the stuff on the trays, and then how they enter it into the cavity. That's all you have to teach them. By this, it makes it very easy. And if you have a lot of, you know, staff changes or everything, you know, with every person, you had a lot of training, then they were leaving, they took the knowledge with them. But now it stays in the combi oven, you know, because it's there in the AI, it's there in the cookbooks, and you're always achieving the golden standard with that. So that's mainly a lot of solving a lot of problems, you know, lack of staff, lack of qualified, trained staff, also always getting consistent results day by day, Monday to Saturday, you know, all these times. So that's what we're doing with our ConvoSense technology. So, and that's how it's helping you in your everyday business.
Arnd,
All right.
to add to that, what I thought is very surprising is the impact that this had at scale. You know, we have 1,000+ locations that we serve with this way, and that's a big grocer that is like the biggest customer for this, and they use this for managing the baking and their cooking area, and they do this to get people into the store to purchase other items at the grocery level. But quality is important to them. That's why they engaged us on this one, because if you're not having good quality, and we found that most often people were just using the wrong buttons, even though they were beautiful labeled, but we found a store where the people were just always using the bread loaf button. Through this system, we kind of were enabling and taking this complexity out and enabled them to like always find the right program. That increased the quality, and the customer shared that at average at all of those locations, they saw a sales increase for the managed SKUs of 24%.
Yeah, at minimum, and that was also done, you know, it's between +25 to +50%, but that was also because now everybody is able to do the baking in that grocery store. Because in the mornings they always had their specialists, but in the afternoons they always had empty trays, so they were not able to sell croissants, baguettes, and all that baking stuff. So because they only had people that were filling up the shelves in the afternoon, and nobody was able to use the combis or the baking ovens, nobody knew how to bake and cook. So this is also a much better thing with the AI that is now integrated, because now even I can do the baking and cooking. When I went there, for example, for the field testing and doing my interviews with those guys, you know, I found an empty tray where there were no pretzels in. I just opened up the freezer, opened up the package, put it on the tray, and put it into the cavity. And when the lady came, which I wanted to do the interview with, I mean, all the pretzels were already finished, and I had filled up the trays, and the trays. And she went, "Oh my goodness, you've made me some pretzels. Thanks very much." And also with the system, they felt so much supported, because it's also giving you hints which items fit together into the cavity. So you want to do croissants, and then you want to add some pretzels, for example. German example. Pretzels don't fit to the croissants because they do need another temperature. And so the system tells you, "Oh, please take out the pretzels because they don't fit to the croissants." And there you can heal the error, and then you close the door, and then you get the perfect baking results by doing this. So, and also, yes, 25 to 50%, because they were now having a lot of people being able to bake and cook and filling up the trays also in the afternoon. So that's also the big advantage of that. Thanks, yeah.
Few introductory words about me. I was actually born in Boston, and then I grew up in Germany. That's why you may sense a certain accent. I'm trying to get rid of it, working on it. But I came back to Boston actually for my research, first in quantum computing and communication, and I was there at MIT, and working with quantum computers at the time, I thought like, oh, this technology is still far out. I want to do something that has impact to everybody. So I then switched to the field of machine learning. 15 years ago, I still needed to explain to everyone what machine learning is and what I'm kind of starting studying. But already at the time at our research cluster back then, we had a demonstrator, which is the cognitive kitchen. So it kind of laid the land for later on when we founded Taste with the idea to bring something similar like the self-driving car to the food services. AI is a term that was coined a long time ago, and it actually has several subsets. Lately, what we have all seen around is more successes in generative AI and language models, and they have incredible skills already right now, and it's fast growing. And I'm, now approached a lot like, okay, where's this journey going? And what should we think about ahead of time to make this a great journey? And first of all, within food AI, that's the joy of it. Like, I think that's like clearly a very supportive function where we really appreciate the new capabilities that a machine partner here, a computer partner, can do for us. So when we think about it, AI at Taste, we see certain areas. One is where we use machine learning for forecasting, so kind of giving us, based on all the data we have in the history, a better knowledge about what's going to happen in the far future, like a 2-week forecast, or also in the very immediate future, like what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes. So I can actually put this into action in the kitchen. And in order to do that, we not only look at the data from like POS systems and customer traffic, we also look into like what is happening at the kitchen. And to do that, to look into the kitchen, we need vision AI. We have this, for instance, with ovens. We have this at different stations. We have this at front of the line. So we look at these different station assistants that we realize with computer vision, with ceiling-mounted cameras or even shelf-mounted cameras that are picking up the different environments in the kitchen. And then it's also about like how do you interact with one another in how does a computer assistant or computer manager, digital manager interact with you? Well, we use those touch screens and we use dashboards, but what we also have, and this is a brand new thing we have at this show, is we connected all those data that sits in those systems and put that into the language model that you know from ChatGPT and marry this data together. And we just came up with brand new questions to ask these assistants, and it's like a really cool combination. And we don't even see yet all those creative ideas you can use the system for. That once you have this data, once you have to look into the kitchen, once you have all this data connected, what you can further do with it. For all of us, life has been incredibly complex, right? And lately, like with all the challenges coming through COVID, with wars going on, with rising food prices, rising labor prices, actually, retention times going lower, and people coming with not being trained for the industry. So life became really complex. And I, as an engineer, am very proud that we're working on products that are taking some of this complexity out. We're using computer software to make life easier, to take the suck out of the work. I love the RI impact. I see that we're actually just at the start, and I think where we are going, especially with the language integration and with increased distribution, we will find. I even heard at this panel like new ideas and benefits of the program. So we're kind of all together, and everyone in this room. Thank you for being either an early adopter or being interested in becoming an early adopter and being part of that journey early. First of all, by becoming part of the journey early is like help us on the way. It's becoming extremely easy to put some of our software in. Major endeavors we're doing on the software side to make them like the first modules come in within an hour of support. And then you're part of the digital journey. And by being part of the digital journey early, we want to hear your feedback. and it's an evolving thing. So every one of you is collectively, by sharing this feedback, by using these systems, making them smarter and making them better and enabling them better us to support. And besides, making life easier right now, which is a cool thing, I think, it's what I would like to end with is, besides of please reach out, please schedule an appointment with us, and what I would like to end with, I really like, Bill, when you said, you were able to cut food waste. That's a mission we're on, because it is, with today's technology, possible to forecast better and to not overcook and to cook to needs and to prep to needs. This cuts down the food waste. And 40% of the food that is grown this year in this country is going to the waste bin. 30% of that is happening at the food services. And if United Nations calculated that all the food waste combined in the world would be CO2 emissions like a country of India, that we can save right now. So if we're cutting down food waste by 10%, it's having an immediate impact not only on the P&L, but also on the climate. So we're on a mission to not only do this, we really want to do this fast so we get those low-hanging fruits in.